Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're diving deep into the Bittensor network. We're going to build a toolkit, basically a guide for how to value the AI startups, the subnets, that are popping up all over it.
All right, so let's get right into it. The Bittensor network, man, it's this massive, kind of chaotic and super fast-growing ecosystem. You've got over 100 of these specialized AI mini-networks, and they're all in this constant battle for resources and just to stay relevant.
So you've got this wild mix, right? It's a battleground where you've got genuine, brilliant innovation on one side and then just pure speculation on the other. And that brings us to the big question. How in the world do you separate the signal from all that noise? How do you actually figure out which one of these projects is the real deal, the one building something with lasting value?
So first things first, let's get a handle on the battlefield itself. I mean, what are we even looking at when we talk about evaluating a subnet?
Okay, so here's the best way to think about it. Every single subnet is like a startup that's competing in real time. The miners, they're your engineers, the ones actually building the product. The validators are your QA team, checking the quality. And the market, well, the market is the judge, jury, and executioner. In this world, performance is literally everything.
Yeah, and this whole system is built for constant, relentless disruption. You heard the quote, it's a fiery crucible. You have competition inside of competition. It's not just the subnets fighting each other for the top spot. Inside each subnet, the miners themselves are in this constant war. Getting to 80% accuracy, that's not good enough, because you can bet someone else is right behind you pushing for 81%. So, in an environment this fierce, how do you even begin to pick a winner? Well, it's definitely not about chasing hype. We've boiled it all down to a few key things you need to look for. Criteria that really work in this unique ecosystem.
Our toolkit really has three main parts. First, and this is maybe the most important, is real-world utility. Is this thing actually solving a problem someone would pay to fix, outside of the whole crypto speculation game? Second, the team. Who's behind this? Do they have the tech skills, the chops, and the business smarts to actually see it through? And finally, number three, the market signal. What is the market telling us? And this last one, this is where things get really interesting because of a pretty unique mechanism.
And that mechanism is called dynamic tau, or DTAU for short. Just think of it as the economic engine of the whole network. It gives us a direct, numbers-based way to see what the market believes in. See, when people stake their tau tokens to a subnet, they're basically putting their money where their mouth is. They're investing in its success. And that directs a stream of network rewards, they call them emissions, right to that subnet. It creates this super powerful real-time signal of what the market thinks is valuable.
All right, let's put this into practice. We're going to apply our criteria and we'll use those DTAU emissions as our core market signal. Let's check out the top 10 subnets that are currently leading the pack.
Okay, so here they are. This is the leaderboard, the current heavyweights, all ranked by how much of the network rewards they're pulling in. Right at the top, you've got Shoots. It's all about serverless AI, and we'll get to that in a sec. But just look at the variety here. At number 4, Lilium.io is tackling decentralized computing hardware. Then you have the proprietary trading network and Sports Tensor, super niche prediction markets for finance and sports. And at number 7, Gradients, focusing on AI model training. This table is basically a snapshot of where the market is putting its confidence right now. So let's zoom in on a couple of these and see what that real-world utility actually looks like.
All right, first up, let's spotlight a subnet that gets right to the point. It directly answers the question that's on a lot of people's minds. Can this make me money?
And that's Subnet 55, Precog. Its goal is just elegantly simple. Predict the price of Bitcoin. That's it. The miners are all competing to provide the best insights into where the market is headed. And how are they judged? By the one metric that leaves no room for argument: profitability.
And this chart, wow, this chart really shows you its power. The research team behind Precog ran a simple, automated trading bot using its predictions. That blue line you see, that's the bot's account balance. Now look at the orange line, that's the price of Bitcoin. See how the blue line just keeps climbing even when the Bitcoin price takes a nosedive? It's incredible. Over a 24-day test, the strategy was profitable 97% of the time.
And here's the kicker. This wasn't some fluke. It wasn't a one-off lucky run. They tested this over 18 different one-week periods, and a strategy using Precog signals was profitable in 15 of them. Think about that. It was making money even when Bitcoin was in a bear market. Now that is what we mean by tangible, measurable, real-world utility.
Okay, next up, let's talk about the subnets that are building the actual infrastructure for this decentralized AI future. They're the ones selling the picks and shovels in this new digital gold rush.
And what's really fascinating here is that we're looking at two top-performing subnets that come from the same development team, Rayon Labs. It's just wild. They're tackling two totally different but absolutely critical parts of the AI pipeline, and they're pretty much dominating both.
So on one side you have Shoots. You can think of it as a decentralized, much cheaper version of Amazon Web Services, but specifically for running AI models. This was the first subnet to blow past $100 million market cap. Then on the other side, you've got Gradients. This one is all about democratizing the ability to build the AI models in the first place. It makes super complex AI training accessible to just about anyone. The success of both of these just proves the point. If you build real products, you get real rewards on this network.
Okay, so we've seen the promise, but we have to be realistic here. It's really important to remember that this entire ecosystem is a massive, high-stakes experiment. The potential upside is huge, for sure, but the risks are just as big.
The long-term success of Bittensor really boils down to a few things. First, the subnets have to deliver that real-world value we keep talking about. They need to attract users who aren't just crypto speculators. Then there's the high inflation in these early stages. It creates a lot of pressure and basically forces you to participate just to hold your value. And finally, that DTAO economic model. It's brilliant, but it's still an experiment. And it could potentially be gamed or attacked by speculators.
So, that leaves us with one final big-picture thought. We've spent this time breaking down how to value the individual players in this incredible game. But maybe, just maybe, the real winner, the most valuable thing being created here, isn't any single AI service that happens to be on top today. Maybe the real prize is the system itself, this relentless, decentralized engine for innovation that Bittensor has built, a system that pretty much guarantees the search for better and better AI will never, ever stop.